Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to another edition of Crimes of the Week International. Before we get to today's video, we're excited to announce that our official Patreon page is now live. Patrons will receive exclusive extended editions of each one of our Crimes of the Week and Crimes of the Week International videos. So if you want even more crime news coverage, head over to patreon.com/crimezone.
Authorities in Hong Kong say that they've arrested 2 men this week after they were captured on video standing outside of a woman's apartment and sniffing her shoes. According to reports, the incidents took place outside the unit where the 27-year-old woman lives with her mother and sister, on the 21st floor of the Prosperland House skyscraper in the satellite town of Tuen Mun. The woman first became aware of the bizarre situation a little more than a month ago when a neighbor approached her and told her that he had captured something strange on the surveillance camera outside of his apartment. The neighbor said that he had seen a man standing outside of her door who proceeded to pick up one of her running shoes and sniff it. The woman was concerned enough that she installed a surveillance camera of her own. Over the next couple of weeks, she managed to capture not 1 but 2 men doing the same thing, both of whom allegedly returned several times to smell different pairs of her shoes. The footage was turned over to Hong Kong police, who conducted an investigation and found that the men in question also lived in the building. The 30-year-old and 31-year-old suspects have not been named at the time of this recording, but strangely it is believed that neither of them knew each other or the 27-year-old woman. They were both arrested earlier this week on suspicion of loitering. In Hong Kong, loitering was reportedly punishable by up to 2 years in jail.
Customs officials in Nigeria say that they have arrested 3 people this week and are looking for a 4th, following a record seizure of animal parts that were being illegally smuggled through the country. The bust took place in the city of Lekki, just east of Lagos, and reportedly recovered more than 17 tons of pangolin scales, 44 kilograms of elephant tusks, and 60 kilograms of pangolin claws. The illegal parts are worth an estimated 22 billion naira, or roughly $54 million US, and are believed to have been en route from the Central African Republic to destinations in Southeast Asia. According to reports, Nigeria has become a hub for gangs involved in wildlife trafficking in recent years, something experts and officials blame on insecure borders, lax law enforcement, and corruption, all of which have allowed criminals to make use of the country's large ports. Pangolins are critically endangered, and as a result have become especially lucrative targets for these criminals, as demand continues to surge due to the use of their scales in traditional Chinese medicine. In a statement on Wednesday, the head of customs, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali, said that the 3 suspects who had been arrested were all foreign nationals. The 4th suspect they are looking for is also a foreign national, and is believed to be the kingpin of the operation.
Authorities in the Colombian city of Valledupar say that a woman is recovering from severe injuries in the hospital this week following a senseless act of violence that began over a glass of water. According to reports, the incident took place in the city's Dangon neighborhood near the end of last week when a man showed up at the home of 58-year-old Zaida Maria Vega Sierra. The man, who was not known to Sierra, requested water, but she claimed that she could not give him any because she did not have a disposable cup or container. After being turned away, the man returned to Sierra's home several minutes later and knocked on the door again. This time, immediately after she opened the door, she was attacked with a sharp weapon. Sierra was stabbed a total of 9 times, with 8 of the wounds reportedly being sustained to her chest. Due to the severity of her injuries, the 58-year-old was taken to a hospital in the heart of the city. Thankfully, doctors were able to save her life. Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, the man behind the brutal attack remains on the run. He escaped from the crime scene, and authorities are currently working to identify him.
A man from the English county of Essex is being called a hero this week, after he quickly rushed to the aid of a stabbing victim at a local supermarket in Loughton. According to witnesses, the incident began with an act of road rage near Langston Road and Chigwell Lane, just before 7:30 p.m. on August 4th, when a man in a white van allegedly got into an altercation with a young man and woman in a red Ford Fiesta. At some point, the man in the white van was reportedly stabbed multiple times through his open window, after which both he and his alleged attackers fled the scene. A few minutes later, the stabbing victim arrived at a nearby Sainsbury's grocery store, entering and telling those inside not to be scared, but that he required immediate medical attention. Though multiple staff members and others intervened, it was the quick thinking of a man named Jamie Witchell that has garnered particular attention. As soon as he saw the victim's serious injuries to his wrist and torso, Jamie grabbed a nearby package of diapers, opened them up, and used several of them to press against the wounds in an attempt to stop the bleeding. This continued even after the man reportedly ran outside in a panic, as Jamie forced him to sit on the ground so he could try and tend to his injuries. Emergency service workers soon arrived on the scene, and the man was taken to the hospital. Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, the man's condition is unknown, and his name has not been released to the media. A 22-year-old man and a 19-year-old woman have been arrested on suspicion of grievous bodily harm with intent in connection with the case, though police have not specifically said whether this was the same pair who were traveling in the red Ford Fiesta.
Authorities in the Bolivian city of Santa Cruz de la Sierra say that a 38-year-old man is dead this week after he was attacked during the night by thieves attempting to rob his business. According to reports, Javier Maturano and his fiancée had been running their chicken business called Pollo Scami for several months leading up to the murder. Things were going well, and the couple had big plans for the future. They wanted to get married and start a family, and hoped that their success would allow them to grow their business over time. However, things took a turn for them when their store, along with numerous others in the area, began to be victimized by a wave of thefts. The business was hit 3 times during the night by robbers in a period of weeks. Each time, money, chicken, and tools would be stolen. In an attempt to protect their fledgling business, Javier started sleeping there overnight and created a small area near the cash register where he would settle down for the evening. However, on the night of Saturday, July 31st, thieves struck for a 4th time at the store, and this time things turned violent. Javier's fiancée found him dead on the floor of their business the next morning. According to police, there were 4 people involved in the heinous crime, 3 of whom have since been arrested. Most tragic of all, Javier's fiancée reportedly recognized at least one of the suspects as a man who frequented local businesses asking for food. She said that she had previously given the man chicken when he had come there to beg. At the time of this recording, authorities are still on the lookout for the 4th suspect.
A case of suspected fraud that is equally bold and amusing was reported out of Japan this week, following the arrest of a man who allegedly ripped off a local discount store several times using a smartphone app. According to Japanese media, the incident began last August, when restaurant owner Takuya Takahashi concocted a scheme using one of the country's largest electronic payment services, called PayPay. Though Japan is still a largely cash-based society, PayPay is one of many competing electronic payment services that has emerged in the last few years, much the same way that Apple Pay has become more widely accepted in many places in North America. To use PayPay, customers open the app and scan a store or business's QR code. They then enter the amount of money that they owe for a transaction and hit the payment button. Once the purchase is completed, the whole thing is confirmed by a short audio clip that says, PayPay. Takashi's scheme was fairly straightforward. He would go into the discount store in the city of Misato, grab several food items, and take them to the cash register. He would then use the PayPay app and make it seem like he was paying for the goods. However, at the last second, instead of completing the purchase, he would simply play an audio recording of the PayPay sound effect and walk away as if he had paid for his items. Apparently, this was repeated at the same store several times, allowing Takahashi to steal a total of 8,200 yen, or roughly $75 worth of food. The store only caught on after they kept coming up short during their counts at the end of the day, and realized that it only happened on days that Takahashi had visited. An investigation was eventually launched, leading to his recent arrest. According to reports, Takahashi's plan was far from foolproof, and probably should have been detected sooner due to a lack of receipts or other confirmations from his transactions. We can only speculate here, but it's been suggested that perhaps the store simply didn't know how to use the new electronic payment technology properly, or that Takahashi was simply very good at distracting or smooth-talking employees. It's possible that he tried his scam unsuccessfully at many businesses before coming across the discount store where it finally worked. In any case, it seems that the business owners will now have a keener eye out for any similar types of scams in the future.
Authorities in the Swedish city of Kristianstad say that 3 people are seriously wounded this week following a terrifying shooting at a local shopping mall. According to reports, the incident took place at approximately 3:45 p.m. on Tuesday, August 3rd, at the Gamla Gardens shopping center. Witnesses say that at least 3 gunmen on 2 mopeds rode up to the mall and proceeded to open fire on those inside and outside. At the time the attack took place, the area was crowded with people, and terrified shoppers began to run for their lives. At least 3 people were seriously wounded in the shooting, though at the time of this recording it remains unclear if they are the only victims. Though their names have not been released, they have been identified as a man in his 20s, a man in his 30s, and a woman in her 60s. The attack prompted a large police response, and the following day, police announced that they had arrested 3 teenagers in connection with the crime. The suspects were taken into custody on suspicion of attempted murder. It is unclear what prompted the attacks, and no additional information about the suspects has been released at the time of this recording.
Authorities in the Georgian capital of Tbilisi say that they are looking for the culprit behind the murder of a 31-year-old Australian expat after she was killed during a hike late last week. According to reports, Shanae Edwards, who is also sometimes referred to as Shanae Brooke, was last seen alive shortly before setting out for a hike in Matatsminda Park on the afternoon of July 30th. Concerns about her safety were raised following a disturbing phone call that she made to a friend in the US just after 4:30 p.m. During the chilling phone call, the friend could hear Shanae being attacked, screaming for help while begging her unknown assailant to let her go. The friend immediately alerted people that Shanae knew in Georgia, who contacted police after they could not locate her. A large search party was quickly organized, and sadly, Shanae's remains were found the next day. The 31-year-old English teacher had moved to Georgia 2 years prior, and was extremely well liked by everyone that knew her. She reportedly loved nature and travel, and had spent time in many places throughout the world, making friends wherever she went. The brutal crime has not only broken the hearts of Shanae's family and friends, but has become a major story in Georgia as well. Crimes of this nature targeting foreigners are extremely rare, with authorities in the Eastern European nation alleging it has been at least 10 years since something like this has happened there. Though no suspect has yet been identified in the case, investigators say that they do not believe the culprit is a foreign citizen. They also say that they are looking into reports from 2 women who say that they were recently followed in the Matatsminda Park area by an unknown man. The investigation into the tragic murder continues. That brings us to the end of this edition of Crimes of the Week International. If you're a fan of the new series, don't forget to tell us in the comments section below. While you're there, make sure to subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. Thank you for watching.